Fighting through a stalemate, Ukrainian troops claimed victory this week by gaining a foothold on the east bank of the Dnieper River, pushing Russian troops back to another front as Moscow tries to make headway with its own offensives in eastern Ukraine. Although Ukraine's counteroffensive launched in June sparked hopes of a breakthrough in the west, the war has since devolved into a brutal war of attrition with neither side making any real progress. As winter approaches, surprise maneuvers along eastern Ukraine's 600-mile front are unlikely in the next few months. However, Ukraine's successful landing of troops on Dnipro River and holding region, opening a new front in southern Kherson region, could put pressure on Russian forces and distract them from battlefields in southeastern Zaporozhye region. They are demilitarizing Crimea step by step, Andriy Yermak, head of the Ukrainian presidential office, said at an event this week. David Silby, professor of military history and politics at Cornell University, said recent developments show Ukraine maintains its tactical advantage even as Kiev faces the difficult task of a long war against larger Russian army. Ukraine has a slight edge, but it's not much better than stalemate, Silby said. What we have seen over last few months reminds me of the grinding, heavy matches of First World War, when progress was measured in yards rather than miles. The losses are pretty terrible. This will certainly lead them to potentially threaten Russia's control of Crimea and make them worry about whether they can keep their forces in Crimea. He said, the main problem is to keep the logistics chain flowing, because you have to move everything across the river to support the troops there. Russian military blogger Russiawar also noted that Ukraine's advance in Kherson was troubling after Ukraine gained a beachhead in a nearby village. The situation on the ground is consistently difficult, Russiawar wrote on Telegram. Currently the enemy has not given up on plans to expand its bridgehead on the left bank of Dnipro. The Ukrainian command will continue to conduct offensive operations in the occupied areas. So it is too early to relax. Although the situation has become relatively stable, Ukraine has previously raided Russian positions in Dnipro but has yet to hold a position on the east bank. Most Ukrainian counterattacks took place around Zaporizhia region towards town of Tokmak and destroyed city Bakhmut in Donetsk. The attack is expected to continue throughout the winter, but probably on a more limited basis. Russian forces are also continuing their offensive into Ukraine to capture rest of Luhansk in the northeast and eastern Donetsk region. There is a major offensive around town of Avdiivka in Donetsk, where Russian forces reportedly launched a renewed offensive last month but suffered heavy casualties similar to the attack on Bakhmut in spring. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the